Hello and welcome to Some Loosemore. My name is Dieter and you join me for my second little chat about apps within board games. Now, this is a channel about board games, but I spent a video that you may have seen talking about app versions of board games and the ones I like. I didn't even mention my favourite one, which goes into that second category, Anirim. Again, another card game, and satisfies me. I don't need the game. We were looking at games that tried the app and gone, no, don't like it as an app, I want the physical thing, and then other ones that, even though I have the app or have the physical game, I still want the other version of that. So we're looking at those kind of things, and I said we would then talk this time a little bit about app integration within board games. Now, there is a growing trend, even more so than just the digital platform, digital versions of board games, on games being released, physical games being released that require or can use an app. Now, I've done a video on one of these for a game called Fuse. You can check that out. There should be a little eye that appears and says, hey, you can watch this video about Fuse. And that uses it, it's entirely optional, it just provides a timer for you and a bit of a soundtrack because it's a 10-minute only game. It speaks to you, it causes stuff out as you go along. Now, that is a really light level of interaction, app integration, that's the word I'm looking for. And really nice because that's optional, you don't need it, you can play the game without it. If you don't have an app, if you don't have a phone, if you don't have an iPad, whatever, you can still play the game, it's absolutely fine. Now, what I want to focus on a little bit, and where some people, is a bit more divisive rather, some people are really liking this trend and some people think it is not diluting but going against what board games are all about. Board games are a very tactile, social experience where you are doing something together, physically doing things, and if there's some bookkeeping to be done, or if there's some setup, or all these things are to be done, that's part of the experience, and part of what makes the game good or not is how that is handled within the design. But there are a fair few now, games out or coming out that part of the game is played on or assisted by an app. There's a big one coming out this year called U-Boot, a submarine game where you're working on a submarine, but then the app does some of it for you, you need it, it's some of the view, it acts as a little periscope view. So there's bigger ones like that. Rising 5 came out now 2 years ago, I think, where again most of the game happens on the app, but you've got the board that you're moving to do different things. There's things like Detective, where you need to go search on the internet and do all those things. You have to do something outside of the game to help you figure out the thing in the game. And similar to that is a game that I got over Christmas, which is called Chronicles of Crime. And this, for me personally, is really cool. And what you do, you have a board, you have a physical kind of evidence board, and you have a deck of cards of possible people that may appear in this scenario, possible items that may appear in the scenario, possible locations. And so that's all the physical materials. The rest of the game is run by an app. And what happens is all of these cards, all of these locations, all these things have little QR codes on. And if you want to go to a location, with the app open, you're in whatever the story says it is, you've set it up the way it says, you scan that location, you are now in that location, and if there are people there, it tells you, you find the people cards, you lay them there, you then scan that person in that location to talk to them. And then you can scan one of the items that you found as a clue at the crime scene or something, and it will ask that person in that location about that thing. And it does all of that storytelling and things for you. It's like, I don't know, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. It's something that I'm worried that I would enjoy. It was a whole different kind of geeky when I was growing up. I've never actually played it, role-playing games or anything like that, but it seems like it's like one of those big books that you might get for the Dungeon Master, the Games Master, to know all of the answers, to know where everything is, all that stuff. It handles all that for you. And so the first time I go to this location, I find this person. They know I'm a police person, and so I'll ask them, but they won't give me that much information. And then I go, actually, I found this clue. And they go, oh, I'm sorry, I should have told you this, this, and this. And so it's really clever to me. It's really interesting to me how you do those things. And then you come out of that, you have 4 experts that you can then go, this person said this thing about this with this item. What do you think, criminologist? What does that tell you about their psychology? Is this person guilty or not? And you can do all of those things. But each scan you do takes up time. Every scan within a conversation, I think, is like 5 minutes added to the clock. Going to a new location, I can't remember, it's like 10 or 15 minutes or something, and you have to solve the crime within a certain amount of time. And so it does all that for you. Now, I think that's fascinating. I think that's incredibly clever, really good use of technology. But I know other people that go, that's not a board game. It's just not, I won't play it. Or it's nothing, because it's not a board game, but it's also not a video game. People who like video games won't play it because they want to sit down and just do all of that through the screen and the controller or a computer or whatever it is. They don't want to have the physical things going on. And then a bit more purist board gamers go, well, I want everything to be on the board or in physical things that I can touch, that I can go do, that I can go read myself, not have an app tell me, because what's the point? You've taken away my fun. And so a few of these games that do this have become a bit more divisive. And so I'm interested to you, if you do play games, where you fall in that argument. Is this something that interests you and intrigues you and you go, wow, isn't it great that we're incorporating this technology? Or you are a purist within video games or board games going, no, those two shouldn't be mixed, they are distinct mediums, we should treat them separately. I don't like where this is going. Because the danger is, and I completely understand this argument, technology moves so quickly that these apps may just go unsupported and then they won't work anymore, or they'll just be removed. Whereas a game from even 5 years ago that I have on my shelf, I can just always play. I can always pull that out. But these ones, if the app gets taken away, I can't play it anymore. I understand that argument, I really do. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Are there any games that you've tried that do this, do it well, do it badly, that you think, yeah, where'd you fall? I'm generally for it. I've yet to have a bad experience of it, but I do understand people's reservations. I like video games. I like board games. I like the apps that replace board games. I like the apps that, like the Fuse timer, that just slightly assist it. And I'm just now starting to experience, and so far enjoying, as I say, I've only got this one game that does it, an integrated app, board game, single experience type thing. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do follow us on Twitter at WSomeElmore, on Facebook, on Instagram now. Subscribe to this channel if you don't already. Hit the bell icon so you stay updated when we post new videos. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been interesting for you. If you have any other suggestions of little wider topics that you'd want to hear us talk about, put them in the comments below. But otherwise, we will see you next time. I have been Dieter for Some Loosemore. Goodbye.